Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome to the Toluca Prison. A place that runs beneath the town and was initially used as something of a workforce slash, penal colony. In the early days of Silent Hill's hillbilly town days. You get to see quite a few things down here, and a few interesting implications in regards to exactly who was fronting this here facility and its connections to a certain cult, but I'll stay my tongue on that for later. I'm not sure if it's around here or maybe the next area we're going to be jumping down to, but one of the most popular things synonymous with this part of the game is, holes. And not the Shia LaBeouf movie, I mean the fact that James pretty much jumps down into holes, which, according to my symbolism, is symbolic, because it's like diving into the psyche. I am a first-year student. Oh no, wait a minute, hang on a second, I should put this in a more pretentious YouTube way. It's like he's diving into his psychology. So that's why Silent Hill 2 is so good. It takes basic psychology and is so very deep. Monsieur Croquette! I'm being facetious, obviously. Again, it is a pretty apt metaphor, though Silent Hill 2 does kind of abuse this a little bit too much when it only really works once, and even then that's, something you're going to be seeing in the next part. And oh no, we're stuck in a well. Wham! Looks like James is going to have to call for help because now he's stuck all the way down. And yeah, if you don't know how to get out of here, then you're stupid. But basically just examine the walls or just continue to bang it, and when you hear a certain tunk sound, you will know how to get out of here. Wait a minute, this is different, even though I haven't tested it out yet. There you go, that's pretty much the sound cue you need to hear. And of course, since we can't be asked rendering different parts of the walls, even though Silent Hill is all 3D, unlike the pre-rendered Resident Evil stuff, yeah, what the fuck? Never get tired of saying that. But yeah, this is pretty much the ins and outs of what Toluca Prison offers us. More lying figures, and it's pretty much the only real enemy type they have down here. So, yeah, again, it is apropos, given the whole straitjacket, motif, so works, I guess. But anyway, I might post the picture up right around here, but yeah, it's either this area or the one above it, where you can pretty much see the town's executioners. But yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit later. In the meantime, oh no, the flashlight ran out of batteries. What a coincidence after we get the key. Well, I guess there's nothing for us to do but use a battery and show the one threatening instance of bugs in a Silent Hill game. Yeah, again, basically access the panel and basically try and figure out like a finite amount of 3-pin codes, and that's about it. It's, again, about as interesting as it sounds. It's pretty much there to spook the player, which I do remember fondly from the vengeful KBM run of Silent Hill 2, which I've actually started watching again. But, I mean, anyway, that's just my nostalgia talking, really. Again, open up the gate and take a look at this Francis Bacon-inspired imagery, which we'll be getting to a little bit later, and dive deeper into James's subconscious / the prison with more interesting stuff about it. Again, like, I do feel this area does kind of tend to overplay this a little bit too much. Again, I guess maybe on a first playthrough it's there to kind of heighten tension of like, oh, is James gonna die? Or, oh no, what vistas are we gonna be seeing this time? But I mean, really, it's... I don't know. A gimmick that's overplayed a little bit too much. But in any case, we've got some important spicy news to talk about in regards to who we're gonna be seeing right here.
Killing a person ain't no big deal. Just put the gun to their head, pow. You killed him? But it wasn't my fault. He made me do it.
Calm down, Eddie. Tell me what happened.
That guy, he had it coming. I didn't do anything. He just came after me. Besides, he was making fun of me with his eyes, like that other one.
Just for that, you killed him?
What do you mean, just for that?
Eddie, you can't just kill someone because of the way they looked at you.
Oh yeah? Why not? Till now I always let people walk all over me. Just like that stupid dog. He had it coming too.
Eddie?
I was just joking, James. He was dead when I got here, honest. Anyway, I gotta run.
You're going out there alone?
Yeah.
Eddie?
Dearie, dearie, dearie me. And it seems that Eddie's nature is starting to come undone, because as we see here, yeah, that's got bullet holes in it. And if it's recent, well, let's just say that Eddie was responsible for it. But again, it is important to note that again, with all the people making fun of Eddie with his eyes, they are but apparitions of Silent Hill, not actual people. So Eddie technically hasn't murdered anybody just yet. So far it's just that stupid dog, which is the one in control of Silent Hill. So, what the fuck? But anyway, this is pretty much our introduction to the prison, good and proper. So, let's get a little bit of trivia regarding that, actually. Because, again, given the fact that Toluca Prison runs right beneath the town, I'm guessing they probably paved over it, since in later Silent Hill games we have the Overlook Penitentiary, which seems to be Silent Hill's prison good and proper, at least for the modern times, in terms of, like, Homecoming and Downpour. But yeah, Toluca Prison is likely the location where the executions took place. I mean, after all, if you remember the little tombstone earlier that brought to mention about the executioners washing their tools in the lake, well, yeah. Put two and two together and where we're beneath right now, Toluca Lake, Toluca Prison, and yeah, that's pretty spicy meatball. But again, with the prison area, we can pretty much run across these cells, and again, if you pay careful attention, you can actually hear like a special invisible monster calling Ritual. And if you can see here, look at that, is that the seal of Metatron? But yeah, basically, Silent Hill's cult does still have a presence in Toluca Prison. Oh no, Silent Hill 2 is an emotional charge only, I don't like the cult stuff because I'm a fucking pussy bitch. Oh yes, I went there, throwing shade at the fanbase. That's right, yeah that's right bitches, I'm a meme lord now. Woozle wazzle, bam, you know. But again, on a bit of a less facetious note actually, to talk about some more trivia that I have. Again, it seems like Toluca Prison might have been a front for the cult as well, because like, I mean again, you can see a lot of the prisoners either being imprisoned because of their religious beliefs, but again, since Silent Hill was basically a town regaled for having its, well, queer religion, as Lisa put it, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if maybe, like, a lot of the town's founding forefathers, again, regardless of whether they were convicts or anything else, well, basically kind of emigrated their religions based on other different parts of the, you know, the world, as we learned in Silent Hill 3, and, made it their own, which, again, isn't entirely outlandish, and, again, just creates a bit of intrigue, like, I mean, was it the spiritual beliefs of tons of different people that were arrested or, I guess, transported to Toluca Prison over the years that brought about Silent Hill's religion to begin with? Because, I mean, as Mary does later elaborate in, albeit posthumously, this place was a sacred place for Native Americans, so again, who knows what sort of spiritual fuckery came about with people's different beliefs angering the powers that be. But again, that's just fan-wanky Silent Hill shit that you probably ain't give a fuck about. But again, this is pretty much our main puzzle precipice right here. This open little area where we can hear the gallows being strewn about, we can see the epitaphs of the town's executioners, which are moulded in the vein of Pyramid Head, which is probably where the artistic rendition of him came from, or at least to the extent where James perceived him to look like that. But again, find five tablets and slot them into there. And again, each one is apropos to, you know, whoever they're representing. Again, first of which is the Tablet of the Glutton, which is of course Eddie. Not really related to his weight so much as it is how much he revels in his behavior. Because again, you will see later on that Eddie is really trying to justify his position here. Like in terms of how people make fun of him with their eyes. And each one of these paintings also represent each of the characters. The burning building was representing Angela, the auditorium representing Eddie, and, well, the final one representing James. Actually, no, the woman in fly was representing Angela. The burning building was representing James. Because, yeah, it was he and Mary's special place and how it's on fire. And this is, of course, where you can hear the ritual monster. You can actually kill the monster and it'll get it to stop, but yeah, kinda weird. And we find the Tablet of the Oppressor. And notice, oh no, we can't escape from our prison cell. Gee, I wonder why. Perhaps it is that James symbolically feels that he should be stuck in there. Ha 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 ha! I know Symbolism 101, I do YouTube. Time to put an outlandish thumbnail, and with my face in the title looking shocked, with all the views, just put some shades on my fucking eulogy photo. But again, facetiousness aside, yeah. The last one we need to find is the Tablet of the Seductress, which, is found in the shower, which, in a prison, you really don't want to think about some unspeakable implications there about, dropping the soap, and even in that case, considering that it's a woman, that's just lovely, considering the two women we've met in the game so far. But regardless of such, yeah. Not really too much to worry about in terms of enemies here, really. Like, I mean, you've been dealing with lying figures the whole time, really, and, I mean, they might crawl away on the odd occasion, but really, you got a steel pipe, you got a shotgun, and, if you take the advice I mentioned earlier about, you know, using its stopping power to knock them flat in their back and then giving them the old stomp, should be good. There is actually also another hidden secret that I think they brought back for... I think it was either meant to be a reference to Silent Hill 1 or a callback they made in Silent Hill 3, where basically if James knocks on the door, he hears some knocking back, he leaves, and then he hears a woman scream from inside there as something falls over. I mean, it's basically meant to be a little jump scare moment. I think it was meant to be paying homage to the Midwich Elementary School locker room in Silent Hill 1, but yeah, it's just a weird jump scary moment. Because turlets are fucking scary in Japanese media. Probably because they're worried about the, I think it was the Hanako myth, like the one about the kid that fell down the toilet and died. I don't know, Japanese myths are bizarre and weird, not like our myths that are sane and rational, allegedly, except not really because they're myths and scary. In the Mary, like Bloody Mary, except not, because it's Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, motherfucker Beetlejuice. And I'm just singing to make up for the fact that I ain't got fuck all to say. But again, it's pretty much in this bathroom right here, I believe. Or another place, because I lied. I implied lied to you, except not really. And again, to talk about more about gameplay mechanics, this is the other segment where you use the combination thing. The last time, really, because Team Silent couldn't be bothered to think about more creative uses for their mechanics, and as such it becomes a bit of a dummy element, really. And again, this was the toilet I was talking about. Now let's just take a listen. No, nothing. I really don't know what you get to trigger that. I think it might be similar to the come home and watch my dead wife fold some laundry thing. Similar to what you hear in the Blue Creek apartments, but yeah, I guess maybe it's either random chance, playthrough specific, or something. Again, I've never really gotten that to trigger, like, accurately, but I mean, it is a thing. Like, I mean, you can pretty much look up a video online and see it happening. Or maybe it might be exclusive to the PlayStation 2 version? I'm not too sure, to be honest. But anyway, on to more pressing matters, this is pretty much where you can get the most powerful gun in the game. The hunting rifle, and you might be thinking, wait a minute, Mr. Solidus-Skully, you sexy hunk of man-ass, what about the Hyper Blaster that you get in Silent Hill 1 and 3 and Homecoming and all that shit? Well, again, to talk about the Hyper Spray, really, it's fucking useless, don't get it, it's... the way in which it works in this game is that it's pretty much like insect spray that basically stuns enemies. Doesn't kill them, but stuns them, and again, its power radius depends on, well, your star ranking at the end of the game. You get the green Hyper Spray, which is the best, yellow, which I think is okay-ish, then you get the white one, which is the most common one, and I can't remember the other one, I think it might be purple, but fuck it, it's really not all that useful. Anyway, onto lore-specific things. The little Baroness that sank with a lot of its, you know, occupants drowning in the lake, along with the blood of the executioner's tools, and of course their spirits reaching up, hoping for somebody to save them, and of course if we know that Silent Hill is a spiritually charged town, let's just see. Are they reaching up for safety, or are they going to curse the people who didn't try to save them? Very interesting. Hope nobody went swimming, because that might mean they, got injured. And sick. But that's all I'll say on that for now. And of course, it's here where we get the hunting rifle. Again, the hunting rifle does have a few caveats in regards to its use. Again, it only has, 4 bullets per, firing round, so again, you can pretty much... it is powerful. Like, I mean, as you can see there, you knock enemies onto the back and they pretty much stop right there. And again, ammo for it is limited. Like, I mean, again, you're probably better off sticking for the pistol and the shotgun for the main game and using the hunting rifle as pretty much your boss buster. But again, it is powerful, but you have to remain stationary while you use it, so, yeah, and especially in rooms where things are a little bit tight, especially for boss encounters, does come off as a little bit, a bit of a pain in the butt. So, yeah. Good weapon, just has a few caveats. So again, I guess it does balance its use, for the lack of a better phrase, but I don't know. Useful weapon to have, and just make sure you keep it on hand. And save up your ammo, for God's sake, save up your ammo, because, well, it'd be a scarce bitch. And again, this is pretty much where you complete the combination puzzle, but again, we need the last thing, which we kind of get a little bit haphazardly. It requires us to use the tablets, the Oppressor, Glutton, and Seductress, but again, the item you get from, well, again, I wouldn't say it makes sense, but it is kind of weird in the way at which you get it. Like, I mean, you put in the 3 tablets, like, I mean, apparently somebody gets hung, because, again, suicide metaphors, tee hee hoddle ha, and then you get, like, a horseshoe right at the end of the door. Don't really know why this is, but hey, them's the breaks, I guess. And like, and even in that case, like, I mean, you get the horseshoe, like, on the door that you came in, not the gallows that were gonna be hanging people? Question mark? I really don't know what to say in this aspect. And now I am running out of things to say, so, I guess to pad out for time, and again, I probably should have mentioned this all the way back when we saw earlier on, and again, I mentioned this in the Born From a Wish video, but I figured, for the sake of people just watching this for the playthrough specifically, and not anybody who's just interested in Skully reviews, might as well bring it up here, but there is some more cut enemy trivia, and Jesus Christ, that scream was a lot more that was a lot more ghastly than I remember it being. But yeah, another cut enemy from Silent Hill 2 was basically levitating naked bodies that was seen in the freezer during a certain encounter with Eddie that we'll be seeing quite soon. And again, it seemed to play into a lot of his body dysmorphia issues, which, again, you know, the perfect masculine figure that he failed to live up to, and I don't know, it would have been interesting to have seen how they played. I guess maybe you could have seen them playing, like, similar to, like, a prototype version of the Ghost from Silent Hill 4, where they hover around and cause progressive damage to James, but I guess for one reason or another, I guess maybe they couldn't make it fit with the traditional Silent Hill gameplay, they ended up cutting them. I don't know, actually, I guess maybe censorship would have been another thing, because, like, I mean, Japan is pretty, again, counterintuitively, considering the, less than, sensitive Japanese animation that you can see over there. Well, yeah, nudity is a bit of a thing, particularly in regards to genitalia, so yeah. So I guess that might have been part of the reason why they were removed, but I really have no idea, really. I think it would have been an interesting concept to use, especially since we really don't get that much male fan service, which, as well, I don't know. I mean, it's mainly just sexy nurses, but, come on, you gotta give the ladies something to look at. So again, wiggle that dick in front of the screen. Yeah, but I mean, on a serious note though, I really would have loved to have seen how those enemies played. But again, I can only really speculate because they aren't seen in the final game, but I don't know, possible concept to use in a future horror game, especially if you, I guess maybe wanted to create a Silent Hill protagonist who was maybe dealing with some, like, repressed homosexual desires, maybe? I don't know, it could be a very interesting topic to maybe tackle for a Silent Hill game, but again, that would assume the series is going on, and even in that case, it doesn't really even have to be Silent Hill specifically. It could be its own original, unique horror game that could tackle that kind of thing. I don't know, I mean, the psychology is ripe and ready for the picking, so it's just up to somebody to do it. But in any case, all the doors here are pretty much locked except for the one we need to go through, and again, we have to dive through more holes. Although, speaking of the levitating naked bodies, again, you see the feet right there. I believe those were also reused from the models that were initially used for Eddie's enemies, so, yeah. Again, you don't get to see the whole model, but you get to see their legs. So again, that's a nice way of Team Silent reusing their assets even when they don't have a purpose for them as enemies. I don't know, like, I mean, Team Silent were always pretty good about that, and it's just something that makes me smile. Oh dear, and now we're really getting into the shit. I believe this is meant to be a reference to the Wilt's coal mine that we saw earlier on in the Historical Society. Because again, we are walking towards a mine area that, well, seems a bit odd, which connects to the prison somehow. And again, with actually one of the more freakier tracks in the game. Like, I mean, I will still say that Silent Hill 2 isn't quite the scariest game in the series, but leave it to Akira Yamaoka, man. He can make some horror tracks that really get under your skin. But yeah, right here, we pretty much have an elevator going down into the mine shaft and, well, basically taking us to our next major area of the game that I really am not looking forward to. And, not for the... I mean, it is the one point I will put against Silent Hill 2, but it's just for a lack of an intuitively laid out design, which was intentional, but it's just annoying each and every time I go through, so... excuse me, I really don't know what to say. It's... black. But anyway, as soon as we take this elevator down to hell, we'll pretty much be stopping for today, so... yeah, we'll be saving all the fun for next time, whenever we're ready for it. So, how was everybody's day? You, do anything recent at this point? Have any fun on the sun? Or, chill in the winter? I have no idea what to say. Any more about anything? Like, literally, the only thing you can do fun here is just collect some items while the lift just takes you down, so... yeah, it's pretty much the only way to trap you. There's no going back now, so let's continue onwards. In any case, I'm Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and next time on Silent Hill 2, we're getting to my least favorite area of the game, the Labyrinth. Catch you dudes and dudettes next time, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.